So this is the model of the boat, which you should have completed at this stage. And the next thing I'm going to look at is this aerial. There's no dimensions on it. But I'm going to show you a little feature that's used in Onshape. And it's something you might use in the future. And to start this off, I'm going to start with a sketch on the top of the cab. And I'm just going to put in profile, because you could pick any particular profile, but in this instance what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the white screen here first and then hit N. I'm going to use a circle, but you could use any polygon. I'm going to line it up to the center of this here, so it's on the center plane or the front plane, and it's drawn a circle on top of the boat. Put in a dimension for this, pretty small, so I'd say maybe something like 3 or 4. I'll put in 3 here. It's moved away off the top of the boat here now, so I need to put in a dimension from it to the end of the boat, and I'll put that in as 20, because that should be about the middle of the boat, because it's 40 long. So that's the first bit. That's the circle there, and I'm going to OK that there. And the feature that we're going to use is a thing called Loft up here. But before we do that there, we need to show where we want to go with this here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do another sketch, this time on the front plane. So I click the front plane from here or on the screen itself, hit the letter N to go normal to. And I'm not really worried about being very precise with this here. I'm going to pick this new type of line to use called a spline, and I'm going to draw a line heading off in a direction, something like that. Hit escape to make sure that you're out of the command, maybe even twice, and there's a little toggle bar here which can be moved in either direction. Now you can put constraints on that there, so say like that one there, I could put it in that I want it vertical, and it'll do that for me. And then this one here, I'll not bother doing anything on there, because I'd like to show you something a wee bit different on that there, so I'll push my aerial away out like that. Now there is something else that we have to do here while we're at it in the sketch. You can always come back into the sketch here too, but I'll just put in this here is the path of the loft. And I'm going to click the end point of the spline. I'm going to I'll zoom this in, pick the end point of the spline and pick the circle, anywhere in the circle, and go up here to this command here called pierce. Now it's taken it to the side I didn't really want it to do there. I'll go and undo that there. So what I'm going to do is, it's probably doing that because the spline is drawn on this side here, which is no problem, because I can actually drag this over to the other side, and I'll click the dot, the circle, and go for pierce there, and it's brought it into the side that I wanted it to. So that's fine, and it's in line with that plane as well. It's all running through the middle. So I'm happy with that. Now this is another feature that I'm going to show you here that is something you might use again in the future. I mean, particular aerials a wee bit on the long side maybe. What I might do here is just go back into that sketch again, edit sketch, and I'll drag it over, and that's why I didn't bother too much with dimensions on this. So it's sticking out past the back of the boat anyway. I'll OK that. Now I want to stick in a plane on the end of this here. Now this is a nice feature as well too. It's very intuitive from Onshape. As I pick the spline, pick the dot, and when I want to add in my plane, add the plane, and the plane will drop it in at the end of the spline, because it's a curve and it's putting it in normal too, which is a nice feature. I'm not going to rename the plane. I'm just going to leave the plane called plane 1, and I want to sketch on that plane, so I'll sketch. I'll pick the plane 1 from the design tree. I'll hit normal too. I'll zoom in a wee bit closer to this here. You can see what's happening there, and go back to the normal. I'm going to draw another circle this time. I'll make the circle pretty, I'll just leave it without sizing it first maybe. Hit escape to get out of the circle command. Click the dot that's at the end of the spline and the dot that's the centre of the circle. And we want to have the two of them lined up vertical, so I'll hit vertical. Then what I'm going to do is I want to have this circle touching the spline as well. So I'm going to hit the circle. I'm going to click the spline, and then I'm going to go up to pierce, and it's drawing it up to that. Now you can see it's just dragged it up, and the circles, the centre stayed where it was. I want to actually change the size of that. I'm going to change the size of that to maybe 1.2 millimeters or something like that, something small. So now I have even one probably do it. Oh, get in here, we'll change the dimension. 1, that's plenty big. Now I have basically a circle on the top of the cab. I have a path that I've drawn, and I've actually taken another circle and drawn it in at the end there, and I'm just going to put that in as profile 2, because you need a profile to a profile when you do a thing called the loft. So hopefully this will give it a good idea of what's happening here. I'll OK that. Now I'm out into my features controls here now. I go to loft, and it's going to ask me what profiles do I want to take. So I'll click the circle to the circle, and then I want a path that I want to pick. I'm going to pick this path here. Now for some reason that circle's coming up red. I maybe have to go back to this here. We want to do new profile. I might have picked up a different thing here, so we'll go back to our command again. I'll pick up on the profile. Let's see. Make sure I'm only picking that profile of the circle. No, it's picking up face of sketch. That's what it is. So I'm going to go to the design tree to pick it and see if that picks it properly. It's not red now. That's the problem. That was the problem. It wasn't picking up the exact profile. So then even for the second profile, I can go sketch of profile 2. So the profile, I didn't name it profile 1. And you can see what's happening. It's just dragging one up. Excuse me, dragging one up to the other. So you can see it's just lofting one to the other. Now I wanted to follow that path to make the aerial. So I'm going to pick on the path, and then I'm going to pick the curvature. And you can see the circle's getting smaller as it's heading the ways up. And I can go into that and edit it whatever way I want. I'd say the radii are just a wee bit on the big side of things. So I might just actually take that, if I go back into my sketch of the profile, I go into edit profile, and I see the radius, go 2 millimeters, and then I'll come up to the top profile, sketch the top profile, edit, and get into that, and I'm going to change that to maybe 0.5. Or maybe 0.2, we'll try that. And I'll OK that, and you'll see that it'll adjust. It's kind of like a rat's tail there now. So that's our aerial there, and it's lofted. You can see what it has done in the loft. And I can even change, if I wasn't too happy with maybe the curvature, I could go back into that sketch of the profile, and I could change that around as well too, but I'm not going to bother with that there. I'm happy enough with that. So that there is the aerial drawn on it, and I'll do up another video then to show the other features I would have in it here. Now I can hide some of these planes as well too. I don't really need all of these planes, so I'll hide that plane. I don't think I need the right plane as well, and I probably will still use the front plane and the horizontal plane. So that's how to do the loft and make the aerial on the boat.